and owner of the team might want to do. But the thing is, he never does it. He just rolls over belly up. He's the Jason Garrett of the Redskins for Dan Schneider. That's what he is. So I'm glad at least we're going to probably see some more Haskins coming out. I'm glad Callahan has coaching experience to do this. Watch them come out and stomp the Dolphins by freaking how many points, guys? I mean, I can see it. I can see I can see Washington having a big game this weekend, having a new cult in the locker room because their old head coach is gone.
I can see the Dolphins beating the Redskins, too.
I mean, I can see that, too. I mean, it's not going to be one way or the other. It's either going to be Washington coming out and exploding as a team and has shown they have all this talent, or they're just going to go in a down spiral. There's going to be no middle of that road. It's one or the other. And I feel they're going to come out and explode. They got too much talent on that offense to not do it. And on defense. You look at the roster on paper and you're like, wow, how are these guys 0-5? Like, why aren't they at least winning 2 games? The answer is Jay Gruden.
He's gone bye-bye.
When you start Colt McCoy, who isn't even fully healed off of his injury last year.
How many weeks before Jay Gruden is a offensive consultant for the Oakland Raiders?
I don't know.
He's probably already sleeping in his brother's house already in Oakland.
I don't know. His brother even came out and says, yeah, it sucks, man. Get over it. Like, he didn't give him any pity whatsoever. So, I don't know. Maybe his brother doesn't give him the easy road after all and get him a job. We'll see. But nonetheless, folks, we have a Green Bay preview we have to get to. And I just had to share some good NFL news rather than some down news because, man, Jay Gruden is finally rid of a head coach position. I'm happy about that.
Okay.
Sorry, guys.
All right, Julius. Now, since we're getting to this now, I have previously made a statement to you about the Lions still being the Lions, right? Right? Agreed? You remember that?
I recall this on the round table, yes.
Yeah, on the round table, and how they still were lying and they just kind of got lucky, right? I said that, right?
I recall.
Okay. Well, per tradition on this show, when you go back and you find something and you watch it and you're wrong, you're wrong. You just say it. They still find themselves in these stupid situations you can't explain, Julius. I can't say I'm not wrong about that, right?
You're right, they do.
But here's the difference. Here's where you were right and I was absolutely wrong. When I go back and I watch all the tapes and all the games, and I love the fact that I have NFL Network now, so I can go back and look at this stuff. Love it. Thanks, Dave.
I want to record this, Julius.
I'm listening.
The bounces seem to be going their way in those goofy situations, and they are coming out on the other side. So they're still in these stupid, awkward situations that I don't see any other football team getting themselves into constantly and multiple times in a game. But where I was wrong and you were right is they're coming up on top and capitalizing despite those to still win games, and that's the difference this year in the Lions. And therefore, I will and now take them serious, Julius. Okay, sir?
I am so glad, Jay, in the UP, that you have come to this sound decision to not overlook the Lions entering this Monday Night Football fiasco that we're getting into.
No.
That shows a lot of respect on the side of Packers fans. Now, there's one thing, like, a lot of people were like, because I hate Cowboys fans, like, don't you hate the Packers fans too? I don't necessarily hate Packer fans. And it's because I have kind of a under-the-water respect for you guys as far as a fan base as a whole. So I'm glad you came to that realization that these Lions might actually be a little different this year. Keyword might.
No, Julius, you're part of this little thing we got going here. we say if there's one thing we'll repeat, it's the tape don't lie. Look, I can go back and watch the tape. You can bloviate and have opinions all you want. I'm about talking about. Look, we have a lot of fun, man. We go at each other because we're all like, even though we don't know each other, we're all kind of getting to be friends, and we all understand the tone of what's going on here. So there's a lot of fun and BS going on. Don't get me wrong, folks. But the reality of the football is it comes from the tape doesn't lie. You watch the games, you rewatch the games, you watch the all 22, and it is what it is. Like, that's at the end of the day. And that's all it is, Julius. Like, that's where my opinions come from. That's why I said it. Tape doesn't lie.
After
it's
watching
there.
the Packers
Right.
and Cowboys this past week, I can honestly say, remember, same thing in the roundtable. I remember telling you guys I was going to watch that game, and I was going to watch it. And I dissected everything that I watched. And the Packers will win the Super Bowl this year. Now.
We don't say the S word on the show, okay? It's not even close to that point.
I'm a Lions fan, so I
too
don't
early.
I don't count in that little dark deal y'all make with the devil not to say the Super Bowl. But guess what? The Packers have a lot of things on their side that would lead me to say that after watching that game against the Cowboys. Now, that also adds even more expectations and fear for me when it comes to Lions-Packers.
Well, Julius, there's one thing that I'm going to continue off of what Jay said. After watching the tape as well for Detroit, and there's one thing that I have seen this year for Detroit that I have not seen in years past, and I think it's coming from Bevel that came in and it's now spreading across the team. One word, it's consistency. Before, the Lions were always erratic. They were always against themselves and basically committing to dumb penalties, and just they were all over the place. Up, down, up, all over. Now, you guys are on the right track on offense, and the defense is slowly catching up, and the consistency's there.
Well, hiring Devin Bevel right now is looking like one of the best moves of the offseason so far for Bob Quinn. The way he specifically resurrected
Saved his job.
Stafford, the most important player on the Lions team, who the last few seasons Stafford has looked like pretty average, if you could say, as far as a passer, you know what I'm saying? And so, this could be a mix of the players they're putting around them. They focusing on the O-line the last couple of years to protect him, and now they have this offense. Darren Bevel has this offense set up that's perfect for Stafford at this point in his career, just absolutely perfect. So it's looking like the best move of the year, of the offseason so far, by getting him from Seattle.
Well, I want to say this too. There's now when I watch tape and there's certain teams and there's certain games, it's just like last week. Like I said, the Cowboys, you didn't want to crown them yet because they weren't as good as they were. But at the same note, when you look at that division, they're still capable, like we talked about in the post-game show with Greg, they're still capable of, vying for that division title. So they didn't need to worry. I'm going to say this before this game and before we get into it any further. When you watch what's going on this season, even if the Lions were to lose this game, even if it's in horrible fashion, it's just from what they've shown so far, you wrap it up to a division opponent that has their Hall of Fame quarterback in a system that doesn't require him to do more than make really 4 to 5 throws that are gotta have it's per game, and the rest of the team around him can really do the rest of the work for him. It's not a big deal. Like, it's not a big deal, Julius. Do you know what I mean? Like, and same if the Packers were to lose this game, it's not all right, yeah, well, you don't need to go flip-flopping back from, like they did with the Eagles, now they're back on their band. Like, these games right now are games versus teams that are really the true teams that are going to be playoff contenders, playoff division title contenders. And so the losses between these teams don't really, it's not as big of a deal as if like you get blown out by like the Jets or something when you're supposed to win. You know what I mean? Or like if Miami beats you. That's a bad sign. Do you get what I'm saying, Julius?
I definitely get what you're saying, and like the way you guys went into Dallas and beat the Cowboys, it's y'all kind of made a statement. Y'all really did, because not only were people picking y'all to lose, but like you said, they were counting the Cowboys to win they were pretty much counting the Cowboys like 2 weeks ago when they started off 2-0 before they had Zeke. So like, and they were doubting the Packers. Why were they doubting you guys? Y'all got a new young babyface head coach. Y'all got our defense has some question marks because they haven't been good the last few years. And so now y'all are pretty much contenders after beating Cowboys. If y'all would have went into Dallas and got destroyed, say like, what was the score? Y'all let them come back a little bit at the end, but y'all
34-24, and 21 of those points were basically garbage time points.
Yeah, y'all controlled the most of the game. I remember. I watched it. Y'all controlled most of the game. So say it would have been the other way around, and y'all lost like 30-3 or something, got dominated in all phases of the game or something. They'd be, then this game for Detroit against y'all wouldn't be as important. So, but since y'all did that to the Cowboys, it ups the pressure on Detroit. First of all, Detroit has played pretty well in Lambeau the last few years. I think we've swept. Are we like?
You've swept us the past 2 years.
The past 2 years, right? So it's not the same old Lions Lambeau drought curse thing going on there, but it's still Lambeau. and y'all are legit contenders now after beating the Cowboys. So for the Lions, we need to be competitive against y'all. We need the same way we need to be competitive against Kansas City. We need to be competitive against y'all. If we go into Lambeau and lose by 40, we regress a lot. So it's very important to actually show up. Like he was saying, there's two good teams. The Lions are starting to gain some respect, but they got to keep fucking going. But we can keep talking about this throughout the show. I just wanted to, just throw that in.
Well, actually, you just said a perfect spot. It's Lambeau, and I looked at the weather just by happen chance. I mean, of course, I check the weather for every game that's outdoors for us. Man, what is it? I mean,
Lambeau is a hard place to play, and Aaron Rodgers is the best cold weather quarterback of all time. So,
the thing is it's supposed to be 30 to 35 degrees by the time the game starts that night.
It's freezing in October.
Yep.
Well, I just want to ask you this real quick, Julius. Not to change directions, but I want to get your take on this real quick, because it's something that it's a kind of a small story that I think should be a bigger story, considering everything that's been said and gone around with Green Bay and coaching staffs over the last few years. They're supposed to be an outside zone stretched team, right? And if you listen to the post-game show the prior Thursday, we all were talking about how Aaron Jones' feet looked slow. He didn't look like the same back. He didn't have the right pop. He didn't, it just didn't look right with him. And then this week, you notice it's freaking Aaron Jones, like the we know and love. Well, if you look at the tape, and then here they had this little part in the press conference, they completely changed their entire scheme because their coaching staff got there, reviewed the tape, and said, even the games we won, it wasn't what it didn't look right. It wasn't not even the line looked comfortable doing that. And when they noticed when they would run inside zone plays, it was very successful. So they basically completely swapped out all their stretch plays and turned them into inside zone runs and like wham block and trap plays. and just went nuts, and the coaching staff willing to change almost the philosophy